your gene pool. Back on?
It's going.
Yeah. But you know, for certain things, because there's certain traits amongst our people that, you know, that's like, let's say you got a white person that got sickle cell. How the hell did a white person get sickle cell? You must have to go back a couple generations and it's a nigga there.
That's right.
That's the only way for a white person to get sickle cell. There are certain traits that are race exclusive. And the only way for a black person to attain traits like red hair is for a white person DNA to get introduced into his gene pool. Same thing with the only way a white person can possibly get sickle cell is if a black person's traits was introduced into his gene pool. It's that simple. So that's the thing. When y'all say the things, you leave it too many blanket statements. And then I blew this nigga mind with that whole Cushim thing. He's talking about the Cushim. That's the Edomites. Cushim literally means Cushites. It means nigger. No, it means Cushites. They're regarded as niggers, but they're Cushites. You idiot.
Cushim means nigger.
You don't deal with etymology or linguistics, which is key.
You just go off of your straight definitions that Esau gives you. Esau gave you a definition, you ran.
It's so key. Because again, like I said, etymology means the study of truth. You got to go into the etymology of the word etymology, right, man. It means the study of truth. So if you can't understand what a word means if you don't understand its etymology and what it truthfully, because I can dictionary anything I want. I can look anything up in the dictionary. But until I go to the etymology dictionary and look it up, that's when I understand it. For example, the word stadium, right? Cranium, right? Anything ending in IUM. I was looking at shit last. What the fuck does that? What is that suffix? What gives that suffix significance? Why is that there? And it means a place. Anything you add em to, it makes it a location. So your cranium is a location of your skull, or you know where your brain is at. A stadium is a location where they do the study, which the study is running. That's where the term stadium comes from. You see what I'm saying? So that's the whole thing of, you know, you don't fully understand what the word fully means. The word stadium means the place where they run. You see what I'm saying? If you look up the dictionary, a place where different sporting events are held, which is true, but when you understand fully where it comes from, before the term sporting event existed, it was just a place where they ran it. You see what I'm saying? So you must go into etymology.
Gymnasium.
You said what?
Gymnasium.
Yeah, gymnasium.
That's
the place
the
where they're naked. That's what it means.
Yeah.
Gymnos is the Greek word for naked. You add the em on it, it's the place where they're naked. You see what I'm saying?
Nakedness.
The place of nakedness. That's what the shit means. So you have to, when you go into etymology, then the shit really hits you and it clicks. Everything clicks. And that's where you get the education from, because now it's drawn out and now it all makes sense. It's drawn out from within you and you have it all sitting on the table. Just like when you deal with the term comprehension, which means to completely apprehend something. Now this knowledge that you've been given is at your will, to where you can look at it from any angle, you can dissect it, you can give it to somebody any way you want to, because you have the full scope of it, man, you know? But you finished that in Isaiah? You got 4 yet? We're about to get to 4 right now.
Verse 3, I have trodden the winepress alone.
Stomped it out alone, right? Go ahead.
And of the people there was none with me.
So it wasn't going to be a group of Israelites that initially did this. Yahweh Shai said he was going to, at the brightness of his coming, pursuant to this scripture, do this by himself. Now he ain't going to destroy all the Edomites by himself, but the destruction of Edom is going to start in the brightness of the Lord's coming, when he starts cracking these cracker skulls with his feet. Right? Go ahead.
For I will tread them in mine anger and trample them in my fury.
They talking about Judas Maccabee, man. Judas Maccabee wasn't solo dolo doing it. Yahweh Shai gonna be solo dolo when he do this. Go ahead.
And their blood shall be sprinkled upon my garments, and I will stain all my raiment.
That's right.
For the day of vengeance in mine heart, and the year of my redeemed is come.
Exactly. Now Judas Maccabee did redeem Jake, but he wasn't the ultimate redeemer of Jake. Yahweh Shai is gonna be the ultimate redeemer of Jake. So when the day of our redemption comes as a nation, Yahweh Shai, in the brightness of his coming, as his first act as ruler, as ruler of this world, is going to be to cracker skulls. Okay. Now I want you to get Romans 16 to 20.
Romans chapter 16 verse 20. And the power of peace shall bruise Satan under your feet shortly.
Exactly. Shall bruise Satan under your feet. When? At the brightness of his coming. Right? The same thing that said that's going to happen to Edom. The same thing that said is going to happen to the wicked. 2 Thessalonians says the wicked. Isaiah 63 says the wicked. Edom. Romans 16 says Satan. It's all saying the same thing. At the brightness of Yahushua is coming, a group of people are going to get bruised under feet. Wicked, Edom, Satan. Right? It's saying the same thing about 3 different groups of people? No. It's saying the same thing about one group of people. So-called white race. Now give me Revelations 12 and 9. Let's tie it all in. Bring it full circle. We presented to you 3 scriptures that say the same thing about the wicked, Satan, and Edom.
Revelation chapter 12 verse 9.
Uh-huh.
And the great dragon was cast out.
That's right, go ahead.
That old serpent,
Uh-huh.
called the devil and Satan,
Called the devil and Satan. Right, go ahead.
which deceived the whole world.
Uh-huh.
He was cast out into the earth.
So we understand that the devil and Satan is one and the same. Okay? Which the devil and Satan are synonymous with wickedness. So wickedness, the devil. As a matter of fact, hold that. Give me Sirach 21 to 27, I think. Just to fully tie that in.
Sirach chapter 21 verse 27. Chapter 21 verse 27. When the ungodly curses Satan,
When the ungodly, all right? When the ungodly curseth Satan, right?
he curseth his own soul.
He curseth his own soul. Why? Because the ungodly is of Satan, right?
That's right.
And ungodly and wicked go hand in hand. So the wicked, Satan, the devil, that's all the same, right? And they said all the same shall be trodden underfoot. Edom is known as the border of wickedness. They all shall be trodden underfoot. Are these all different groups of people, or the devil is one guy, Satan is another guy? No. It's the white man. That's what it's talking about. It is a metaphor for the white man, all right? And that's who's going to be trodden under feet at the brightness of Yahushua is coming. Okay? Y'all gotta get it the fuck together, man. Because y'all argument is too weak. Okay? And the thing about Sha'ala is he's not a master point diverter. See, Josh will divert a point. Josh will get hit on one point and divert the point to where he'll try to make it look like to soften the blow. Like what's that shit Ryan was talking about with boxing? Like you roll out,
Right, you roll.
like a nigga hit you, but you roll out.
Yeah.
So it
You turn the what is it called? Tell me, you roll with, basically you roll out. You roll with the punches.
yeah, exactly. You that way it number one, it's not doing
Softens
as
the
much damage
blow.
to you. Yeah, it softens the blow, right? Josh is an expert at doing that, and I give him that. Rod of instruction is not. Y'all was getting the cold punches to the kidney shot, jaw shot,
Hey,
stomach shot.
Rattle. Like, you know when you get that punch that just rattles you? When they show that instant replay, they just shake your whole body. Yeah, man, y'all was getting rattled.
Like I seen Arturo Gotti, I think, hit a nigga in his kidney right hard, and the nigga he went like he was still gonna fight, and he just collapsed.
Yeah.
Boom,
Yeah.
you got rocked, and you thought you could still recover, but you got rocked so hard it put your ass out, man. Fight over.
Okay.
You know, and that's real. What you gonna call it?
Back to Revelation 12.
Start at 1.
12 and 1.
Yeah, and read the 5.
It says, Revelation chapter 12 verse 1. And there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet.
Shala knows who this woman is. I ain't gotta tell him who that woman is. He knows.
And upon her head a crown of 12 stars.
That's Israel. That woman is Israel. Right? Go ahead.
And
12
she,
stars represent the 12 tribes. Go ahead.
and she, being with child, cried, travailing in birth and pain to be delivered. And there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon.
Which is the Roman Empire. And they'll even agree on that. The Babylonian system is the Roman Empire. It's a system. Which again, that don't make sense, because I want to know how a system is described as a place or an eon that's going to be destroyed. Which you even agree, what I said makes sense, and what you said kind of don't make sense, because I want to know how a system is going to be physically destroyed. You could take a system and basically unimplement it. We no longer implementing this system, but you can't physically destroy it because it's not physical. It's not. You can't. A system is not tangible. A system is, okay, look, We got a system. You're gonna look up here every 5 minutes. I'm gonna look down. You're gonna watch my back this way. I'm gonna watch your back this way. That's a form of a system. You can't physically destroy that system. We just stop. Okay, now we got a new system. You watch your own back. I watch my own back. Now we have implemented a new system. You can't physically destroy the Babylonian system. You have to physically destroy the place of Babylon. That's why that shit don't make no sense and it don't add up. And Ben Trey even had to admit that. Okay, but the whole thing is this: when you're dealing with the Roman Empire, he admits that that the beast is referring to the Roman Empire, and the Roman Empire are white people. Right? Go ahead.
They know that shit.
He know it. He can't deny it. What he did was, I think he got with ISUPK or something like that. He heard what they had to say. He was too emotional. So what he wanted to do is take back and rewrite some of the doctrines and breakdowns. Tell you that some things already happened that didn't happen, or some things already happened and they're not going to come to pass again, they are going to come to pass again. Basically soften the scriptures up. You see what I'm saying? Because it rubbed him too long. Because he's too emotional. And it probably got a lot to do with that white woman he's joining that to.
That's right.
So go ahead. Hey, Charlotte, your wife, she's gonna get exterminated. Okay? She's gonna face extermination. She's, you gotta come to grips with that. All right? Go ahead.
And there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and 7 crowns upon his heads.
That's right. Go ahead.
And his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven.
Exactly. The third part. What is the third part? Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, right? Of the 12 tribes, the ones that were still on that side of the world during that period of time. Right? Go ahead.
And did cast them to the earth, which was ready to be delivered for to devour her child as soon as it was born.
Who is that child? Yahweh Shai. That's that child. Why? Because they had tried to kill all the firstborn of Israel during that period of time. Why? Because they knew the Messiah was coming. All right, and they didn't want it to happen because they thought they was going to go down in that generation. Right? Go ahead.
And she brought forth a man-child who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron.
You can't. Ain't no denying who that is. Go ahead.
It says, and her child was caught up unto the Most High and to his throne, and the woman fled into the wilderness, where she had the place prepared of the Most High, that they should feed her there 1,203 score days.
That wilderness talking about when we fled into Africa, right? That was 5.
Yeah.
You know, ain't no denying that woman is Israel. Ain't no denying that. Ain't no denying that the beast is the Roman Empire. There's no denying that. So, matter of fact, let me see it real quick. Where's verse 12 at? Right there. Go back at 12.
Revelation 12 and 12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens.
Just to further prove that, it's talking about the white one. Go ahead.
And ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. For the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath.
Woe to the inhabitants of the earth, because Esau's finna be fucking shit up out here, man. The white man gonna be fucking shit up. That's why it says, woe to you inhabitants of the earth. Because it says the devil having great wrath. Go ahead.
It says, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time.
He knoweth that he hath but a short time, so his wrath is great, right? Because even 100 years after, I think it was about 176 or 173 AD, Septimius Severus rose. So the white man went down again. Shortly thereafter, this whole thing happened, about 100 years after. And I think the final battle was 135 CE. So, not too long after the so-called white man has totally, fully conquered the nation of Israel, you had an Israelite and a Roman Gentile state of mind that rose up in the Roman Empire and took that over. Leo Scipius, and even before Septimius Severus. But even before Septimius Severus, he had, I want to say it was like, I forget the dude's name, but his last name was Niger. Something Niger. That was another black general in the Roman Empire that was rising to prominence. And he was a rival of Septimius, but Septimius ended up being the emperor. And then later established the Severian dynasty, okay, with with many different emperors coming out of his loin. You see what I'm saying? But the whole thing is, after that, going back to 1492, now we're dealing with the so-called white man coming back into power, and him understanding that he had a short time, so he had great wrath. That's why ever since 1492, wickedness has greatly increased all throughout the entire planet Earth. 1492, Columbus got on ships, they took over the Americas, and they started bringing slaves over. You see what I'm saying? Wickedness greatly increased in the planet Earth since the so-called white man obtained power again in 1492. Okay? Get Wisdom 14. Got a question?
No, I'm just
All right. Get Wisdom 14 started what, 12?
Jesus is a Negro, not a white man.
That's right.
He's a nigga.
He's a Negro. That's right.
He's a Negro.
According to the Bible.
Oh.
You don't believe me?
I'm just listening
We'll
to you.
prove it. We'll prove it. You know, if you got any questions, just ask, you know. Well, go ahead.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14, verse 12.
Not only is Jesus a Negro, all the nation of Israel is Negro and Hispanics. Go ahead.
Says, for the devising of idols was the beginning of spiritual fornication.
The devising of idols was the beginning of spiritual fornication. This is the greatest image of spiritual fornication known to man. Why? Because you got a bunch of black, Hispanic, all kind of people of color that worship a white man. Okay? Which is a goddamn lie, matter of fact. Go ahead.
And the invention of them, the corruption of life.
The corruption of life. Our people's life are corrupt. Why? Because they following this homosexual. Go ahead.
For neither were they from the beginning, neither shall they be forever. It says, for by the vainglory of men they enter into the world, and therefore
by the vainglory of men. So when the so-called white man rose back with the power of 1492, starting with Pope Alexander VI of Rome, what happened was he painted the image of his son to be Jesus Christ. That's the vainglory of men is talking about. Go ahead.
Therefore shall they come shortly to an end.
Therefore shall they come shortly to an end. That's why in Revelations it says the devil came down having great wrath, knowing that he had a short time. The so-called white man, no, he only had a short period of time to rule the earth. Okay, that's why he's been doing so much wickedness to everybody throughout the whole earth. He only got a little bit of time to rule, man, compared to other people's kingdoms. Now go ahead.
Yeah, it's like when you get sick, man. You get that terminal illness, you just start fucking over shit. You don't give a fuck. You start blowing money.
Blow all your money.
You know,
your bucket list. You crossing off everything on your bucket list. The white man know he got to cross off everything on his bucket list because according to the Bible, he getting ready to go down. Go ahead.
Right.
Verse 15, for a father afflicted with untimely mourning, when he had made an image of his child, soon taken away.
An image of his child soon taken away. This is what the Pope did at the time he painted his son, right? Go ahead.
Now honor him as a god.
He's now honored as a god. This was a dude. This is a guy who lived. You can research him. His name is Sier. He was a pedophile. He had incest with his little sister. He had sex with his mom. He raped a lot of people. He killed a lot of people, okay? And this is the man that people bow down to and call Jesus Christ. Go ahead.
Which was then a dead man.
This is a dead man. This ain't the Lord and Savior. Go ahead.
And delivered to those that were under him ceremonies and sacrifices.
Exactly. People have ceremonies every week, every day to this thing, man. All right, go ahead.
Verse 16. Thus in process of time,
over the course of time, right? Go ahead.
An ungodly custom grown strong.
This is an ungodly custom, but it's grown strong. This image is all over the world. People are bowing down to this. Go ahead.
Was kept as a law.
Was kept as a law. If you don't think this is Jesus, you looked at as crazy. Go ahead.
And graven images were worshipped by the commandments of kings.
That's right. By the commandments of kings, this was forced down people's throat. When the conquistadors came to this side of the world, and you had all the indigenous people over here, your different Mexicans and different other Indians, right? They forced this thing on them, all right? By the commandments of men, it said. Go ahead.
Verse 17. Whom men could not honor in presence when they dwelt far off.
That's right.
They took the counterfeit of his visage from far.
The counterfeit of his visage they brought that visage all the way from Europe, all the way to this side of the world, right? Go ahead.
And made an express image of a king, whom they honored.
Because this dude was known as a duke. He was a duke of several places. And a duke is pretty much the same as a king or a prince, any ruler, governor, anything like that, right? Go ahead. To
the end that by this their forwardness they might flatter him.
Right? Their profanity, right? What does profane me and me outside of the temple? All right, go ahead.
They might flatter him that was absent as if he were present.
That's right. They might flatter him that was absent as if he were present. It was this devil, man, okay? And his father. Both of those faggots, all right? Go ahead.
Verse 18. Also the singular diligence of the artificer did help to set forth.
You had Leonardo da Vinci. You had Michelangelo. They sat up here and they painted these crackers, right? They painted this devil, right? Go ahead. That is the diligence of the artificer, okay? Or an artist, right? Go ahead. And then you had other people went off of that portrait that they painted and did carvings of it to make it into a graven image. Right? Go ahead.
Says diligence of the artificer did help to set forward the ignorant to more superstition.
To more superstition. So when they came and brought this image to our people, when they forced it down our throat, our people being ignorant believed in this thing that was a superstition. Because our people are spooked out. Our people love superstition. You split a pole, a nigga will be ready to stab you, man.
Kill you.
Behind
man.
splitting the pole. I know. We all know because we all used to do it.
Sweeping your
split
feet.
that pole, nigga. What the fuck you doing, man? You know what happened to your ass?
Hey man,
You're hit by a bus.
yeah, you got. You supposed to hope you get hit by a bus. If your boy didn't want to go not split the pole, you'll go back and go back around.
Yeah,
That's
split
the
it.
third time the Subaru has been around, and now he finally stopped. I've been waiting for him to Suburban right here. He's been around 3 times. He's parking now. This is the 3rd time. He didn't wrap around twice.
Black dude?
He's not. It's a car service.
Oh,
You see TCP on it. It's a car service.
Oh, I didn't know what it was. I'm watching.
Go ahead.
Where at?
On the side, right there.
Oh, yeah, I see.
He ain't the police. He ain't exempt.
I didn't know who he was. He's not. Black truck.
Verse 19, for he, peradventure, willing to please one in authority, forced all his skill to make a resemblance of the best fashion.
All his skill to make a resemblance of the best fashion of Caesar Borgia.
That's right.
Go ahead.
And so the multitude, allured by the grace of the work,
All these people, the millions of billions of people that follow this faggot, were allured by the grace of the work. Go ahead.
took him now for a God, which a little before was but honored as a man.
This was just a man, but now he's taken for a god by these dumbass people. Through ignorance and superstition, as the scriptures speak of. But this was one of the first acts of the so-called white man when he came back into power, man. It was to paint himself as the image of God, man. Okay? That was one of the first things he wanted to do when he came back into power. That's a part of this great wrath that he had. All right, knowing that his time was but short. All right?
And you know that the devil is doing this because they actually do it in today's society, man. They do it with these rappers, these models, and all this shit. And how they do it? They do it by word of mouth. You see what I'm saying? They take something, whether it's a bitch with a fat ass, and you know it becomes a well-known thing. Like how Beyonce's ass. Oh, Beyonce got a fat ass. To be honest, Beyonce's ass compared to these other bitches, Beyonce ain't got no fat ass.
Number one, Beyonce ass used to be fatter than it is.
Yeah, but even then,
around them white people,
but even
man.
then, hey, compared to these bitches out here right now,
Yeah, you
man,
got bitches
Beyonce's
that's
ass
killing her, man.
man, fucking her out the water.
There's always been bitches with bigger ass than her.
That's
Yeah,
right.
You just had the Instagram wasn't out, man.
That's right.
Now you can see it.
Buffy
That's
the
right.
body.
Buffy the Body. Hey, shit. Trina's
Trina.
ass was always bigger.
Nah,
than
a lot of bras did.
But how
But the whole thing is they blow it up to where everybody's obsessed with it. Like that's the principal ass or something. You know what I mean?
And
That's
now-
how Esau do it. It's in the idolatry. And idolatry, like I said, is the beginning of ungodliness.
And now Beyonce's just such classy bitch, but she's
No,
sitting
to
there
where
talking
she's
about,
godly.
Yeah.
Like she's on the level to where when you think about like the chief woman
Women?
on the earth,
Beyonce.
it's not even the chief nigga woman, like the chief woman on the earth. It's Beyonce. You know
Like
what
a
I'm saying?
dude's
Like,
choices
There's no-
of a woman.
What?
A dude's choices of
Yeah,
a
yeah,
woman.
they base it off of Beyonce.
And it's no arguments either.
And you said, well, Beyonce, everybody will go,
All right, well,
but
but
look,
see, you can't even talk about Beyonce. Beyonce's like a whole other level. She's like a Michael Jordan.
well, she's not. and see, and that's the thing of you can sit here and we can argue sports, and we know if we talking basketball, a nigga ain't on George level.
Okay.
We know that because there's a standard there, you know, like okay,
Right.
well Jordan did everything. He made it look, he did everything, and he made it look better than the rest of you niggas did, right? The whole thing is when you're dealing with that way, especially when you're dealing with the looks, how somebody looks is total individual perception. What look good to you don't look good to the next man. You know, you might think a bitch is hella bad, that the next nigga might think is average or ugly. So that's dealing with perception. But the thing is, they tell you that Beyonce is the ultimate. Just like they told you Jay-Z was the greatest rapper ever. Remember, they forced that on us.
Right.
And then everybody says it as if it's true. But in all actuality, if you really listened and went back and compared diligently, you might not come to that
They
same
say
conclusion.
Tupac and Biggie was the greatest rapper ever.
They're
man.
not.
And they motherfuckers was only rapping for like
A couple years.
4 or 5 years, maybe.
They only had a couple of albums. We're talking
Shit,
about.
didn't Biggie only have 1 album?
He had 2,
True
and I think it
album.
was gonna be his 3rd.
Yeah, because what's his name just grabbed
I
a
thought-
bunch of people
What-
and called
one
it
of them-
duets.
Only
Wait.
real.
Nah, that was his only official album.
Nah,
bro.
he had Ready to Die. He was promoting his second album's release when he got killed. That's the only reason he was in LA.
Ready to Die and Life After
I could
Death.
have sworn I was.
Yeah, Life After Death. Life After
Life
Death.
After
He had
Death.
the two. Ready to Die and Life After Death.
And
And then that's when P. Diddy come out with that hip hop duets and
Yeah,
bullshit,
Biggie duets.
and they was like mad at that.
Notorious and all that stuff came out later on.
Yeah, that was on the compilation. That was on the compilation.
I remember that Notorious big one where he had his daughter in the front of it.
Yeah, those
White
are all
Panther?
afterwards.
That was the first
How
one.
many albums Tupac had?
He got a grip.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean that he was alive.
I'm talking
Like,
about.
Yeah.
I'm talking about like a release
Well-
album, not songs, because you know he got a whole bunch of songs
About
that wasn't on no
honestly,
album.
Yeah.
About what, 11 or 12? Because
No.
Albums?
I'm talking about that he was
Kill
alive.
Illuminati was 7 albums.
No, that he was alive for hell no.
No, he had
It
three.
was a series.
You're right.
Yeah,
He had
bro.
three.
3 to 4 albums. 3 to
He
7
had
albums.
Tupacalypse. He had Thug Life. Then he had
and then Machiavelli.
the double album, All Eyes on Me.
You're right. He might have.
What about
4 or
Better
5.
Days?
That's the when
Nah.
he died. That
Let's
came
go
when
to
he
his
died.
discography. Hold up.
Yeah.
He had
Tupacalypse, Strictly for My Niggas, Me Against the World.
Yeah.
5. He had 5 albums. We had 5 albums.
Yeah, because he had one where he was in jail.
Yeah, he had Tupacalypse now, Strictly for My Niggas, Me Against the World, All Eyes on Me, the Don Illuminati, the 7.
That's when he died.
Machiavelli,
The
yeah,
Don
that's
Illuminati, the 7. That's when he died.
And really, technically, the Don Illuminati, it was released after he died. And then he had 1, 2, 3, 4.
All these Machiavellis, all these
5.
underground Machiavellis that Suge released to get the money.
Hey, hold on. Are You Still Down?
Oh yeah, that was
Because
another one. That was another one.
That happened in 96.
He died.
That happened in
I mean,
97.
97.
Nah, but he was dead though.
He was dead. He
Even
died.
Don Illuminati came out after he
Yeah,
died.
he died.
But it's the whole thing of you were basing this. These are the best rappers because of what? Because they died. Anytime a nigga die, he's the best now.
Yeah, they're double. Your death makes you,
You got
more
little
money.
kids
Yeah.
that say Tupac is the best rapper that aren't even familiar with the
That
catalog.
don't even know who
They
Tupac
just know
is.
Because really, I think
They just
Scarface
know-
was the best rapper. Scarface was
Scarface is a better
good.
rapper than both them niggas. honestly.
Yeah.
And it's the whole thing of, but Esau tells you, or he'll use people to tell you, and just tell you, then you gotta accept it. Jay-Z and Beyonce are the top. Why? Because they sold out. So
Yeah.
because they sold out on a level, what do they get to say? What do you get to get told on your airwaves? That Jay-Z's the best rapper
Mm-hmm.
and Beyonce's the baddest bitch, and that's just it. Esau told you that. He might have used a nigga to tell you it, but
Mm-hmm.
Esau still told it to you because Jay-Z and Beyonce are willing to do shit that these other niggas ain't doing, man.
That's right.
So they get promoted to a higher echelon than these niggas, man. You see what I'm saying? Now, when we dealing with sports figures is different because there's a standard. At the end of the day, whoever the best rapper is who you want it to be because it's your ears that is listening to it. So whoever you perceive to be the best, whoever you think sounds the best is who you gonna think is the best.
He's gonna want to grab dinner.
You know, just like with broads. Anybody any girl who fits your personal fancy, some dudes like skinny chicks.
Yeah.
I don't. So you might see a skinny ass bro. Well, she's just bad. And I'm looking like, what about her is bad to you? Because she's not attracted to me.
I get like the Hamites that was at the gym that day. We talking about white women.
Yeah, you're talking about how attractive white women is, and they pulling up the most average looking white bitches ever. I'm talking about, oh, she is bad. Oh my God. I'm talking about these Hamites was drooling. What is bad about that?
I'm like, you like a dying chick, huh?
You know, they looking for, the most average run-of-the-mill Sally white girl.
That's how my pops is, man. He like big women.
Hey, some dudes like my uncles like big bitches, man. Hey, I wouldn't fuck with that big ass broad, but hey, that's on you. Hey, this brother like big women, man.
God, 10 big bitches.
But it's just the whole thing of it's all personal perception. But Esau will try to set a standard to you. Just like a lot of what do black people think are the best looking now? Light skin bitches. Like it's all about light skin bitches, right?
Yeah.
Who told you light skin bitches were the best? Esau did. Why? Because just like when he brought out Japheth means beautiful, hence whiteness.
Whiteness.
That's a Eurocentric philosophy that they have forced on you.
I couldn't believe
that
he brought
whiteness
that
is synonymous with beauty.
I couldn't believe that he brought that out, man.
The white
When they're not
man
even
told
white.
you that, man.
When they're not even white.
They're not even white. The white man told you that light-skinned girls look the best. Why? Because to you, basically, what you're saying is that white is the best. Okay?
Right.
So you're saying those of your people that look most like Esau are the best of your people. Basically, by you extolling a light-skinned female, or by black women extolling a light-skinned man, really, you're like roundabout extolling Esau.
And if Japhet means beautiful, we know it's not talking about. We know Japhet is so-called white man's not Japhet.
White people are number one. White people. What's beautiful about them? They don't have beauty.
They don't.
They're sick. These motherfuckers be 30 years old, man. Look like they damn near 60, man.
Right.
They're the worst of everything, man. The only thing they're good at is just evil.
Pure evil.
Pure evil.
The best they got is maybe like a Hayden Panettiere or something.
And that's probably a Jake, because you can tell she got kind of a tan, man.
Hey, no lie, man. Did you see her in what's that shit? And Bring It On?
She looked like she could be like a quarter black or some shit, man.
Yeah.
You know, hey, I ain't bullshitting in my
Hayden Panettiere,
Yeah.
Even going back to fucking Remember the Titans, she was really like, you know, hella had that Jake attitude.
She kind of got a kinky. Her hair is kind of. She's probably a Jake.
I
You
hope
know?
she forget.
Because the way her hair looked, like, remember I was telling you, you came to my house when my mom was babysitting the little Jake, the little blind. She's a quarter black.
Little devil.
She looked like a little devil, blonde hair, everything. But she's a Jake. She's a nigga woman, and you're gonna see it when she grow up. She's a nigga woman.
He said, "Look at this little Jake devil right here," and I'm like, "What?"
Look
Go in there.
Jasmine from the Boondocks.
Yeah.
Nah, but she look
Like even whiter than
she
that,
look even more
because she's
whiter
only
than that.
married. Her pops is mixed. And he got with a white girl. Like my older brother, his kids, really, you can tell they mixed, but they, especially the older one, she kind of more so looked like a white girl. And his kids think they're white. When I was out there, I met my brother in 2008, and I went to stay with him for 2 months in 2009. And his fucking daughters are telling me that they're white because their mom is white. I said, man, y'all gonna be in for a rude awakening once y'all start going to school, man. Because them white kids are gonna tell you that you're a nigga.
Exactly.
Okay? Them little cracker kids know who's white, man.
Yeah, they know.
They know, and they'll tell you, man. They're gonna tell you
Because you ain't in our neighborhood.
even if you are in their neighborhood, they
They
know.
don't fuck with you.
Especially if you in their neighborhood, they know because they seen your pop before. So then they know, and that's the whole thing about it. It's gonna come a time where you gonna get called a nigger, and then you gonna feel sad about it. Which you shouldn't. You should immediately swing on that bitch when she call you that.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? See, but when you raised, and the thing, I'm looking at my brother like, you didn't tell them they was black. You know, because my brother's light skinned, and you know my pops Ishmaeled his ass basically.
Wow, Ishmael.
So they ain't never been around a black, like when his oldest daughter met my grandma and shit, she was like kind of confused and shit, because she met me, but I'm light skinned, so it didn't really dawn on her like we're black. You know what I'm saying?
We're
Like
niggers.
oh shit, we're niggers.
We're actually a part of it.
And then look, I'm watching Gangland Zopow. I'm like, yeah, this is, you know what I'm saying? This is your people that's on this damn TV right now. You see what I'm saying? But it didn't really dawn on her until she met her grandma. You know, met our grandma and whatnot. Well, her great grandma. You see what I'm saying? But that's the whole thing of, you know, our people can come look at any type of way, man. You see what I'm saying? So you can't that's why we don't necessarily rule out every person who looks like. That's why I didn't say that every single white person walking around was an Edomite. There's white people that are Hebrew Israelites that are walking around.
See, that's the only way that you guys can try to, you know, trump us. You gotta play on our words, man, and try to take everything that we're saying just.
We dealing with general.
Yeah, you know what we're talking about.
And you know that, man.
That's like all bitches ain't shit. Come on, you mean to tell me that I can't? There is not a possibility for me to find a bitch that is shit.
That's somewhat virtuous.
You know
At
what I
least
mean?
one.
Come on,
it's
man.
possible.
It's
there's
possible.
probably one. But the fact is, we dealing with the masses.
As they say, there are exceptions to the rules, man.
Hey, all blacks and Hispanics ain't Israelites.
That's right.
There's Edomites amongst them. Okay. But the majority of which is Israelites. And we gonna tell them that, man.
There's some exceptions to the rules. You know?
Like that dude who walked up a second ago, they talking about he was a Cherokee. Now, it might have been through his mother's line. Who knows? You see what I'm saying? But the fact is, initially, I would have totally excused him. But the fact is, that's why you inquire, you try the spirit. Oh, okay, all right, this is a Jake. I didn't immediately say, well, you the white man, you the devil, when he walked up. Why? Because I had to try him out real quick. And this, okay, you a Cherokee? Okay, well that might kind of make sense. Because you kind of giving me a certain type of vibration. So okay, you might not be a devil. Either way, he ain't gonna make it.
You can tell a devil, man, within the first few minutes of the conversation.
Number one, by the look on his fucking face. Right. Number one, that's the first way to tell the devil. He had this snide-ass smirk on his face, like silly niggers.
Like that dyke bitch just now that just walked up.
She had a snide-ass look on her. She didn't know what to do, man.
Yeah.
And our people are so just retarded, man, and so stuck in their bullshit ways that even though she realized how serious it was, what we was talking about, she had to laugh because she didn't know what to do. Yeah. And then her boys didn't want to stick around. So she had to try to play it off to be cool and save face, even though she felt compelled to listen to what we were talking about.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And she's a dyke.
Yep.
And we straight condemn homosexuality in front of her face. But she know, man, that's the thing about our people, man. Our people got a conscience through the spirit that they know what they doing. She knows eating pussy is wrong.
Hey, we just said that earlier, man. Like, we were talking about this cross-contamination and shit, man. Like, you know, when you go certain places, you know, certain places might grill, you know, a pork chop on the same skillet or the same, you know, thing that they do your hamburger or your steak. So you'll sit here and look like, you know, some things you really can't get around. But if you see the shit happen and you know that's what's going on, now your conscience is fucking with you. Like, damn.
And that's why Paul said, don't ask if this was sacrificed to an idol for conscience sake.
That's right.
Don't ask. Because knowing these motherfuckers, it probably was.
That's right. That's right. Jake knows, man. Jake definitely knows. But guess what? Who are they getting these affirmations from? These devils. All you gotta do is turn on. Look, all you gotta do is go on Netflix, go to your gay lesbian column, and find you one of them fucking movies that'll give you a affirmation on what you're doing is okay. All right. And then Jake, then these devils, so-called white men, sit up and convince Jake so much on a broad scale that you don't even really have to go to these devils to get it. Yeah. You can go to another Jake and get an affirmation. Say, don't worry about it. You know what I mean?
They try to put their deviousness with our struggle.
Right. Like my homies hacked my fucking Facebook, right? And start posting hella gay shit on there. Now you got motherfuckers on there that actually know me. That's like, no, I know you hate faggots. There's no way in hell you're gay. But then you got motherfuckers that I ain't seen in a while, but I've been knowing them for a long time. Jakes that's sitting there saying, oh, congratulations, you know, you're strong for this. You know, don't worry about it. Everything will get better.
Hey man, I knew that shit was some bullshit when it got posted, man.
I support you. You know, but then you got people on there like, look, this is a hack, guys. I don't even know anybody that knows this man knows. Hey, can't stand a faggot. All right, that's usually how I go. But like I said, you can go to Jake, man, and get all type of what they would consider positive affirmations, man, and they'll just make you feel real good about yourself when you know in your heart that you don't like it and that it's not right. You know, Jake is sick, dude. On all levels.
Yeah, on all levels.
What you want this?
Go back to matter of fact, get Ezekiel 35.
Ooh, I was 2 chapters off. I said he gonna go to Ezekiel 33.
He's gonna go to 35.
That's what GLCC was talking about yesterday.
Oh, okay.
They tried to bring out the Watchmen.
She would have fucking Edomite.
Start at the top.
Nah, you gotta go to the point like where it starts talking about Esau at is like 12 or something.
Oh, okay. 35, 12. Ezekiel, is that 25 and 12 or 35?
Well, it talk about him in 35, but I know 25 and 12 as well.
This is 36 anyway. 36, shit, the blood. shall the blood of the children of Israel force the sword and calamity. Let's talk about here. He has the judgment of Mount Sier. Start from the top.
Start from the top.
Ezekiel chapter 35, verse 1. Moreover, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Sier.
Set thy face against Mount. So we supposed to prophesy against the so-called white man. Go ahead.
And prophesy against it.
That's right.
Man, when you read a direct scripture like that, man, what do you say to yourself? Well, nah. Think about it. I mean, let's just map it out. This devil, so-called white man, Esau, is going to say he's Japhet and that Edom has already been destroyed. Therefore,
so don't worry about Edom.
Yeah, don't worry about Edom. So therefore,
don't prophesy against Edom.
They can't be Edom. Therefore, this can't be the modern day Edom or Mount Seir spiritually, nor can it be Babylon, Sodom and Gomorrah, and the rest. Therefore, we're not out here exposing this man. Therefore, their habitation and kingdom continues.
Y'all are doing the white man's bidding.
Bidding, that's right, man.
By not telling him who he is.
Fuck, man.
By trying to dare to be different. Oh, I got some new doctrine that say he's Japheth. And that ain't even a new doctrine. That's his fucking line that he can copy. You idiot. You're going to read the 13th tribe, right? And you're going to try to bring out that they Japhetic on the 13th tribe. Do you realize why he said that they was Japhetic on the 13th tribe? Let's just really talk about the 13th tribe and what it's about. Even though we use it and it's proved that certain Jews know that they're not Jewish, the whole reason that he did it was so that the Nazis wouldn't exterminate their ass. But the Nazis wasn't exterminating them because of that. That was a propaganda book trying to get the Amalekites or the so-called Jews trying to escape Hitler, man, okay? Which was only on the surface. The Holocaust was only the Holocaust on the surface, man. It wasn't really, it was a Holocaust. You had maybe 300,000 deaths, majority of which came from typhoid. But that whole thing was propaganda to try to escape. If they would have said they came out of Abraham, but out of Edom, that still wouldn't have made it look as good as they needed them to look to save them from their extermination, because you're still a Semitic person. So they had to say that they was Japhetic. Did number one, Hitler didn't believe that the white people were Japhetic. Hitler believed that number one, Indo-Europeans was Aryan or actually Iranian or Persian. Okay? That's what Hitler believed in. That really they came from a place called Lemuria. Then they migrated to Atlantis. Then they migrated through Iran to Europe. That's what Hitler believed. So before you bring out Arthur Koestler, 13th tribe, understand the ideology of the people who he was trying to prove to that he wasn't an actual descendant of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Nigga, that was a book of propaganda. If we want to do with what it actually was.
Nigga.
Come on, nigga.
Nigga.
But go ahead,
Yeah, man, y'all are doing the so-called white man's bidding, man, and y'all just playing right into his agenda. You know, that's what I'm gonna say. I have yet to hear you guys actually condemn this place. I've yet to hear you guys say, "Look, America is a wicked place." You know why?
And look. Oh, go ahead.
No, because with you guys saying that America is a wicked place, you will have to go and then compare that to something in the scriptures. It's an empire. This is a great kingdom right now. You'd have to compare that.
This is the fucking greatest kingdom ever.
That's right.
We live in it right now. As much as a piece of shit as it is, it's still the greatest in terms of its force and its hold on the world, man.
That's right.
We talking about a place. This ain't like Babylon. Babylon had their own land and they brought motherfuckers to it. You know? This motherfucker came to somebody else's land, nearly exterminated their ass, brought another group of motherfuckers to that land, nearly exterminated them, and have been ruling over them for centuries. And now these people that they've been primarily oppressing have no idea who the fuck they are. They have no way out. They have no place to go back to. You see what I'm saying? This This is the most horrible place ever, man.